What's good with it, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid. Tapping back in, and man, oh man, the rapper that has just fallen from grace in a unprecedented way for quite some time now. I was gonna say a decade. No, it ain't been that long, but we're creeping on a decade, damn near. And he had some fall off type ish from before, but he mounted somewhat of a comeback, I guess. But y'all know what I'm getting at, right? Like 2018 is when things really got ugly for Young Buck. David, y'all ever seen Cook Up Boss with the damn David doing that? Damn Daniel, damn David. He was selling the damn David shirts for a minute when some things came out about Buck's preferences, which I still can't believe this man had the nerve to get up on Vlad TV and lie to the world in such a crazy way. Just over the top, ludicrous lies that everyone saw, you know what I mean? That it was straight cap. And then after that, he had the nerve to pull a Trump, or no, it wasn't Trump. Who was talking about the Russian hackers? Was that Trump or was that the people against Trump? I can't even keep up with the political bullish, but at the end of the day, he was talking about 50, like Fifth had a team of full-fledged hackers on the case. And it's just ludicrous, man. Young Buck is just made such a mockery of himself, his career, and just everything in the most outlandish way. And here he is locked up once again with an arrest. And you know, 50 Cent is definitely here for it. As you see, he's saying Buck caught that Barry Bonds disease, man. Y'all remember that when they were saying Barry Bonds' head went up a few fitted hat sizes when he was on the juice, hard body karate, chasing Hank Aaron's all-time home run record. They said he was juicing out of control. It was so crazy. They even interviewed one of his girlfriends that I don't even know how that came up in conversation, where they were talking about the man Dak. Pause. What the fuck? You know what I mean? But is Young Buck on that Barry Bonds? Like, did he start trying to juice it up to feel like more of a man or something after he got exposed for fucking with the in-between nether realm? As you see, it says Young Buck arrested, booked into Tennessee jail over missed bond meetings. And Fifth says, damn, how that dude head get like that? Police must have hit him in the head. LOL. And the comments is even more comedy. I mean, like 50 cents here for the comedy, and the fans and people that follow Fifth always step their comedy up a notch or two when they're getting in Fifth's comments. It's only right. Y'all know what I mean? Let's listen to what they were talking about. We got R.I.P. Nate Dogg. His son is just saying, what the fuck? But listen to this. No one's safe around 50. This we know. Like I was just saying, Fifth comes on another level with the comedy and the roasting. Someone says helmet. He headed back to jail. Headed, get it? I bet when he sleeps, he don't have dreams. He has movies. Bro head look diabolical. He got big headed. LOL. That T.S gave him more head. Pause. I miss G-Unit though. Bond him out and start G-Unit again. I mean, listen, 50 Cent re-signed Buck after Buck got all funny style on him. We heard the phone calls where he was crying and all that. Fifth helped him out with the taxes, all kinds of ish, only for Buck to double back and make all the same mistakes over again and fuck up. You know, like Fifth tried not once, but twice with the G-Unit reunion. If you remember, it was Fifth, Yayo, Banks, Buck, and Kid was the new individual in town. But Buck, you know, did all the same bull-ish again, and then started trying to blame all his problems on 50 Cent. Like, yo, Buck is a master. He has a master's degree in denial and lying and believing your own bull-ish, straight up, man. Like I was talking about them Vlad TV days where he was, or interview, I'm sorry, where he was drinking his own Kool-Aid to the maximum. You know what I'm saying? Someone says, I pulled up the comments and bro's forehead peeking over the tab. I miss G-Unit. Hate the beef in between these guys. I mean, again, We got to see the G Unit reunion. Fifth, this is how he rocks with the roasting and all that. And Buck already knew this before he's decided to get back into bad pause with the unit, business wise, right? He's got the perfect head shape to go through a wall to test the brakes on a Nissan Altima. Damn, that's a off the wall joke right there. What did y'all think about that one? This individual says, "We love Buck." Pause. Laughing emojis. He is ahead of his time. Look like he keep all of his thoughts to himself. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. That was a good way, y'all. Forehead got more stories than TMZ, and you know TMZ picking this story up as always. Someone getting arrested, someone owes child support, someone, whatever, TMZ is there. I remember one time I seen a rapper, The Game. I don't know if he was exaggerating or capping, or he was dead ass serious. He was telling Harvey one of his dudes jumped out the bushes. I could see it happening. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it was actual factual or he was just trying to make a point or whatever. But real talk, it's one of those things where I could see it. Buck wears a 10 3/8 fitted cap. He not from Tennessee. He from Buckhead. What the hell? So I had to stop there. I mean, that was like 3-4 pages of straight bombity comedy roasting Buck. And like we said, here he is back in jail. You remember a couple years ago, like I said, the downfall has been televised like a motherfucker. Way back 2017-18, the Glamour Perfect situation got put out on blast. Buck was on the phone talking about, take it down, bullets are gonna be flying and all this. You know what I mean? There was whisperings of it before it fully came out and was exposed that Buck was in a relationship with a transformer individual. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that to disrespect. I'm just trying to watch the keywords and all that. But I've always said Buck should have just came forth with it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, with the way the music industry has been going and stuff like that, he could have been collabing with Lil Nas X. That was right after Old Town Road and all that, or right before it, and he even took a flick with Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X around that time and posted it on social media, and blogs were picking it up and posting it with the story that he just came out the closet and certified all the rumors as official, but that wasn't true. I think David was flirting, pause, with the idea, but just couldn't fully commit to it. But he might as well done it, because everyone knows what it is, man. No one's believing that bullish that he's talking about. Like, we saw, and there was other situations after that. There was him liking GAY porn videos on his Twitter where he thought that it was private, and people couldn't see it. There was just so many things in regards to all that. Then there was the domestic situation where his girlfriend, the same one that was in the supermarket when that Piper boy dude ran into him and like flat out asked him about what it was, and Buck was acting like they were going to get the scrapping, and no scrap happened or whatever. But that same girlfriend later on, was the one that busted shots at him for not giving up the password. It was straight in the reports and everything. She wanted to get into his phone and he wasn't letting it happen. All them memes out there about a motherfucker will jump up out the dead to stop Shorty from getting into the phone. Buck literally almost took a bullet behind it. And we also found out that was his reason for beefing with rapper Starlito, who I think is also from Tennessee. They had a little scuffle where Buck grabbed him by the shirt collar and got real sassy with it. That there was footage of and everything like that at some kind of basketball game or event in Tennessee. But they ended up squashing the issue. But I mean, it should have been real easy to tell when he had a diss track that was called You Should Be Proud and had rainbow imagery as the artwork. And this was prior to any of that ish even coming out, you know what I mean? But when things became more clear, individuals could do the math like a motherfucker. The reason why he got bagged up, locked up this time is crazy. I know y'all seen the headline, but we'll break it down a little more momentarily. As you see, TMZ is loving to go in with his past arrests. In 22, he also had a vandalism charge for kicking the girlfriend's car. That busting shots, I'm not sure if that got dismissed or not, or he's still going to court for that. But he also had a domestic case for back in 2016, a probation violation. As if you recall, he had did an 18-month prison bid in the feds where they're saying it was for a gun case, but I could have swore there was some tax-ish, some unpaid taxes that he had to do time behind. But maybe it was both of them or what, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. He tries to make Fifth out to be the bad guy, but if I recall, Fifth helped him get back on his feet. And like way back, we heard on that phone call, he was trying to keep Buck from even falling apart. You know what I mean? He was on that snorting Tennessee-ish and partying like a rock star all the time, smoking them dirties or coolies or primos, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And, you know, he just had to party hardy all the time and couldn't, you know, nip it in the bud or do it in moderation. If it was like, yo, you got to pay your taxes, you got to stay on point, even though, you know, we're partying like rock stars at times. If that's the way you want to rock, you got to handle your business as well. But in 2016, he violated federal probation after he had got arrested for threatening to burn down his girlfriend's car.
I didn't do it, straight up. Honestly, it's just a situation that was old. They stem from 2016, as far as the vandalism situation and the domestic. It was never a situation where there was no physical contact with me putting my hands on a woman. I got 4 girls, you know, and I don't condone no man putting his hands on mine, so therefore I would never in my life put my hands on no man's woman. You know, honestly, to be all the way honest, I'm still with the girl. We still together. It was more of an big argument. There was never a physical situation. Even when the door was kicked, it wasn't like I came in the house. The door was kicked and I was gone. I didn't kick no door, but the door did get kicked. You understand what I'm saying? And it was actually my own door because I stayed there at the time. You know, it was my place. So I basically kicked my own door. This situation stems from the same DA that actually sent me to prison. The powers that make these things like this occur would actually come from somebody in that position. And this situation is a state situation. I went to federal prison. This is a state situation. So the actual same DA, of course, is not the DA that's on this situation. But hey, small world.
And that was a flashback to back then. And at the end of the day, man, domestic-ish can be wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? There could be situations where an individual is like just on some other-ish. And there can be times that, and it can go both ways. Females can lie on the dude. Dudes can lie on the female. I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, this is, I think, the same girl that Buck is still with to this day that just took shots at him. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe so. But you see, he was heated the way they had him in there. Like, yo, it was my own door. How the fuck they gonna bag me up for kicking in my own door? But with what's going on now, this is crazy to me. I didn't know nothing about this. Tap in, everyone, and comment if you've experienced something like this or it works this way where you're from. You know what I mean? Because the legal system, the law books, court, probation, bail bonds, all that can go a little different city to city, state to state. And, you know, especially too, when it comes to the feds, that's obviously different. That's the law of the land, quote unquote, they say. When you post bail on a fed case, there can be all kinds of pretrial stipulations and all that. And it can be a whole process, even getting bailed out. They can deny the bail. They want to audit the money, see where it came from and all that. But in this situation, they're saying Buck's out on bail for a 2022 vandalism case, for kicking his girlfriend's car, and a D-Rug case. I don't know what the fuck that's about. If he got caught smoking one of them primos outside the strip club or something, who knows? And I don't know if that DV case is for the situation with his girlfriend shooting at him or what, because I believe they both got arrested in that one, or he got arrested later. It was clear, you know, all Buck's extracurricular activities, flirting with all kinds of individuals online, pause, had really been putting a strain on their relationship. And once again, 50 Cent's been here to give us the whole play-by-play every single time Buck has slipped and fell and it hit the news. But at the end of the day, what I'm getting at is I never knew of stuff to be like this for just a normal state case. Buck got sentenced to 30 days in jail because for these two cases that he's out on bail for, he missed some check-ins with a bond supervisor. So I always thought, unless it's some federal-ish or it's like a serious case where there's like pretrial stipulations or what, like I only thought of something could go like this is if the bondsmen had their own policy where they want you to check in and you didn't, right? And they were worried that because you're not abiding by their rules, you know, that like you could miss court or run off on the court date, run off on the plug twice, that they could revoke your bond. But I didn't know you can straight up get sentenced to time, because that's what they're saying is he missed these two dates. So the DA had him have a hearing on April 7th. And at that hearing, they decided to sentence him to 30 days in jail. And then after that 30's out, he's got to come back to court where they'll have a hearing to decide if his bond should be reinstated or not. Like, ain't that crazy? For real. I thought that that was only something the bondsman could stipulate. Or, like I said, if you're out on a specific pretrial release, like with the feds or with court, if it's like a real serious charge or something like that. But the way they're describing it here, like that's just a regular going about things in Tennessee. I don't know, though. Like I said, for those from their comment or comment if you've ever heard something like this or what it's like where you're from or what you know of. But at the end of the day, it really is a shame, man. Like Buck had some real serious bangers, some dope music, but he just made poor decisions. And like I said, for him to fuck the situation up with 50 Cent, not once, but twice, and then sit here and blame it all on Fifth. Like, I get it, Fifth trolls you and all that, but come on, man. You know what I mean? You got to take accountability. It's the same way he gets all in his feelings and whines and cries to all these YouTubers and content creators, sending threatening DMs, blocking them. It's just some real sucker-ish, some suspect, bozo, goofball, lame behavior. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, Young Buck is just really killed his credibility. And, like, you know what I mean? People just kind of look at him as the laughing stock of the rap game now. You know what I mean? Someone who at one point in time was a part of one of the most dominant runs in rap. The way 50 Cent blew up. You know, a lot of people that followed Fifth's career prior to the Shady Records debut, you know what I mean? With How to Rob, with the Mad Rapper and the Columbia Records deal and the mixtapes and I Don't Believe You Murder, which he ended up putting on Get Rich or Die Trying. But Fifth had a whole wild nobody likes me, but that's okay, because I don't like y'all anyway. He had some bangers way before that, you know what I mean? Before getting shot in the face, when his rap voice was a little different. What did he say? Bullet, and what did he say? It's nothing. I can go at Mace's fan base. And he said something. I ain't wait for Doc to hit my wisdom tooth. What did he say? I just spit it out. Pause. You know what I mean? We're talking about this buckish behavior, but the Fifth went through all that to get dropped from Columbia Records after getting shot, to be kind of blackballed out the industry over Ghetto Quran and politics and other issues and stuff like that, where he was going all the way to Canada to put out all those G-Unit mixtapes, which were fire. You know what I mean? It ended up in the hands of Shady Aftermath, Interscope, Eminem, and they signed him and they did the whole rollout. He was still releasing mixtapes while M signed him, and everyone was talking about it. It was such an anticipated project, and when it finally dropped, it was crazy. The numbers he did, the run he had, and then next up was G-Unit. You know what I mean? Everyone was waiting on Bang. Shayo had got locked up. Buck came over from the whole UTP clique, and he was dope, you know what I mean? And he was a part of this real strong clique, but, things just fell apart. And here 50 Cent is today doing his whole movie thing, and all roads lead to Shreveport. I see if that ends up jumping off like it's supposed to, that one politician down there is trying to shake him down, y'all. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? That whole tax credit that's on the bill to get voted on that they tried to dead off. The politician was making all this commentary in the news about 50 Cent being an outsider and about the sale of public property, and he's buying private property. It makes no sense, and I'm getting a bit off track as we're more talking about the downfall of Young Buck. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the things this politician's saying don't really add up. You could tell he's like, yo, where's my big old bag of money at? You know what I mean? You forgot to pay me. Look, you pay me. Joe Pesci voice. But he was a part of that movement, and here he is today, just a mockery of what he used to be known as, and really no momentum behind him anymore. And it's a damn shame. And you see TMZ, don't get me wrong, that's what they do. They get to the drama, they get to the bull-ish, but they love this. Like, yo, look at this guy, man. He caught the Barry Bonds disease, 50 Cent's clowning on him, and look at all the times he's got arrested for all this sucker-ish and everything, and he can't pay his taxes and all that. Like, Young Buck is just not that dude anymore, man. So there y'all have it. Jump in the comments, share your thoughts across the board. Sub up. It's coffee, and I'm up out of here, y'all. Peace.